Why you should not be a cornball. With the new age, it's so easy to want to be a cornball because that's what's being promoted. And this is the reality of the situation is that in our current modern society, being a cornball or being like a beta, I don't really like using those terms, but simple terminology is normalized to the point of no return. We're at a point where the only way that we can prevent a cornball society is by you not being one. So what I'm talking about, cornball. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Kai Cenat, I wouldn't rank him like the king of cornballs, but he's definitely up there. He is the guy that, out of all the streamers in AMP, he is the guy that he's called out for having little kids or the only ones that watch him. And I honestly do find him entertaining, and it's not to really hate on him, but he's a cornball. Like at the end of the day, he's a guy that he got clout. He was probably introverted as a kid. He was probably kind of weird growing up. And he ended up getting clout from being a cornball, being entertaining, being a jester, being a clown, being somebody that people can laugh and make fun of. And honestly, I respect the guy. He's done very good for himself. He's very successful. But in today's world, you got to think about the influence that this will have on kids. And kids will think it's cool to be this way, to be a troll or to try to be funny or to be loud and obnoxious and annoying. And that's the reality of the world today that a lot of kids are like that and they don't respect their surroundings. And I don't think Kai is going to be that kind of guy that really influences people that don't respect their surroundings. But we're going to jump right into the next guy I want to talk about, which I find hilarious. Speed. I show speed. That's I find this guy hilarious, but his mass influence and his mass following and his fame really does put a really bad influence within a young person's mind, especially somebody that is 16, 17, 18, maybe even 15 to be a complete clown. And it's not okay to be a clown. Like think about if you were being talked about and somebody referred to you as a clown, would you be happy about that? It's like, no. And Speed knows this for a fact that the more dumb he acts, the more stupid he presents himself to the world, the more clicks he will get. And it's all about clicks for him. Obviously, this is why he acts really dumb. But then if you're a kid and you think, I just got to be a dummy, the real world is not going to respond to you that way. And this is why, whenever Kevin Durant was presented to I Show Speed, he was like, "Man, this guy's a cornball. He's a goofy goober, he's a goofball." And this is the thing about it is that, adults don't understand this mentality of being a goofball and thinking it's cool. Only our current generation does. And you don't want to be a goofy goober. That's the thing. You don't want to be a goofball. You don't want to be considered a clown or whatever because it's not cool. It's not, there's nothing cool about being a goofball. Just because it has fame and clicks and money behind it doesn't make it okay whatsoever. And I Show Speed, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. He's not a complete goofy goober. He is pretty smart. I mean, he's leveraged his success in many ways, and this is very impressive that he has done so many things that a 19-year-old or 20-year-old shouldn't have already accomplished. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but you got to just think about the influence within that. He's still a cornball. He's still a goofball. And if he didn't have the fame or the clicks behind it, his reality of life would be substantially harder than, majority of dudes. This kid I want to talk about. This is the prime example of what I was saying. This kid, he's 14, 15, 16, and he thinks being a goofball, being a dummy is cool. And he's going to have these girls that have OnlyFans or whatever that are going to be behind him and they're going to be supporting him and they're going to be having fun with him just to promote their page, just to promote their link and just to get clicks onto their profile. And this is where a lot of trouble comes into play is that kids are going to be looking up to this and you got to think about our future generation that they think being ridiculous, being a fool, being a clown, being a jester is what they should look up to and aspire to and this is who they should be. And this is why I believe that there should be a big rebellion towards that demographic of streamers. And they're the ones that are getting pushed and promoted the most because obviously that's what, you know, the big corporations want. They want a dumber society. A dumber society, easier to manipulate, easier to control. So, they'll promote these famous streamers that look cool, that have money, that have fame, but in reality, in real life, they're goofy. They're clowns. They're not well respected. Like if they didn't have the following or the money, they would not be respected as individuals. Not nowhere near as much as they are right now, just because of the clout and fame. But clout and fame doesn't equate to character and personality. And this is why I like I Show Speed, because he has that, like, oh, let me be giving, let me give back because I'm blessed, and he understands that. Another kid. Oh my god. Now this we're getting pretty down bad. This guy is a cornball. He's Mr. Cornball. I don't understand who watches this guy. Like straight up. I've never really seen that many clips of him. The only clip I've ever seen of him, he was getting slapped by Bradley Martin. And if Bradley Martin slaps you, and he thinks he can get away with slapping you, you know you're a freaking cornball. Because if Bradley Martin slapped me, oh, I guarantee you he's gonna get socked up. But this guy, he got slapped up, and he didn't care about it. Like, you slapped me, bro? Oh my god, I didn't know it was that serious. And it's like, dude, come on, you're a man, you got balls. I mean, I know they're little itty bitty balls, but still, this is insane how this little kid right here, this one, he does irritate me. I'm not gonna lie. He influences the the youth, the cornballs of society to have confidence and delusions of what the real world is, and thinking that being a cornball and trying to be funny will guarantee them respect. I don't know. I don't know what their mentality is because I don't consider myself that like at all. And this guy, he's just I don't even know. I don't even know who watches him. It's just insane to me that people literally watch this kid and they think he's cool. Like, what's cool about him? And he thinks he's the shit. This is the most insane part. Like, he thinks he's the shit just because he gets laughed at. He's the center of attention of the clown. Of the joke. He's the butt of the joke, and he thinks that's perfect to be you know. Lacey, another prime example. The guys, they're intertwined with each other. This guy, he's a cornball, like the definition of a cornball. He's the type of guy to be the stepdad to the girl that's been ran through with three baby daddies, and he wouldn't mind it whatsoever. He wouldn't find any issues with it at all whatsoever. I think he's weird as hell. I think this guy's weird as hell. They just managed to get lucky, and they managed to get a little bit of clout and fame, and they got contracted with FaZe, and that really put them on the map. But in reality, these guys, you should not look up to them whatsoever. I mean, you could look up to Kai and I Show Speed slightly, but they're still very goofy, and they know that's what will get them clicks. These guys, they don't realize it. They don't have the mental capacity to really realize it. And there's another guy that I want to show you guys that's a cornball that's really gonna throw you out of whack because you're like, what? This guy's a cornball. Andrew Tate, man, when I was young and dumb and naive, I used to look up to this guy. I used to think he was cool. But in reality, he's the top goober. He's not the top G. And I'm going to tell you guys why he's a goober. This guy thinks he's successful. This guy thinks he's the shit. This guy thinks he's the pinnacle of man. But the only way he got there was by taking advantage of guys like this. Guys don't have self-awareness. They don't have any ability to stand up for themselves. They can get completely taken advantage of, and he exploits that for his own personal selfish gain. And he thinks he's benefiting you by giving you advice. And this is the definition of a goofball because he literally thinks he is the pinnacle of man by taking advantage of the lowest version of a man, which is a loser, which is a person that doesn't understand the ways of society. And he knows what he's doing. He exploits it and shows no sign of remorse. And that's the definition of a goofball to me, to the highest amount. I used to look up to this guy when I was dumb and young and full of myself, thinking that this is cool. But once you see through the facade and see how much he has scammed people, how much money he has made from the exploitation of man, and the only way he's ever gotten money, which is not success, it does not, money does not equate to success. I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you think money equates to success, you still have to grow up, because this does not mean that you're successful. This guy, all he tries to do is try to take advantage of young, naive, or just dumb, lonely men to get a financial gain.